This is the Euro Aussie on the 60, and we have a Gartley pattern, a complex pullback and some fib confluence. Complex pullback is basically just a trend within a trend, so I'm just going to run through this and just show you what's been going on here. Now, if we put a structure level on just here, then we've obviously got this decent level of structure right here, but technically we've not violated the wicks up here. So this is still a structure hold, and it looks as though we're putting in a rotation pattern just here on the dailies. And what happened is that we actually came up and put in a double top. But you can look at this, if it meets your rules, to be a head and shoulders, and you can look at selling this double top as well at the 618. So you would be looking for a sell up at this level. Right now, however, if you believe that price isn't going to retrace and it's going to come down to retest the candle closes just down here, well, we can drop down the time frames to the 240 and have a look. Now, if we were to read trend, we had a move lower, we had this pullback, and we had a move lower. So this would be the area that I'd be looking for shorting opportunities. Now, as we go down to the 60, we still have that trend, but what we also have is a complex pullback, which is basically just an AB equals CD pattern, but it appears within a trend. And with these AB equals CD patterns or complex pullbacks as they're known, I like to see two of the best fibs. That's a 1618 inversion. So you can see that 1618 is just beyond the completion of this complex pullback. And then a 1414, which is virtually right on the line as well of this zone, which just so happens to come into the top of our structure level. And we also have X to A to B, B to C, and a CD completion around this point. However, I'm not going to trade the pattern. I'm going to wait for the completion of this complex pullback, and also for the 1414 and the 1618 to be tested. Now, just to show you that we are still in trend, we had the move lower, the pullback, the move lower, the pullback, the move lower, the pullback. And this is just a complex pullback within a bigger trend. But I'm actually just going to wait and see if we test this higher level. And then I'm going to be waiting for an entry reason, and I'm going to be playing for first targets just here. And if we go out to the dailies, I'm going to hold for second targets down to this level. So that's what I'm waiting for, and we will see if we get an entry into this trade. It's not small by any means. Even target ones down here, we're looking at around 100 pips of reward, but I just want to make sure that this structure level holds and those two fibs are tested. We're back for the update on this trade, and as you can see, we're currently 99 pips up. We have already spiked past the order once. I'm just going to go out to the 15 here. So I'm just waiting for this thing to rally down now and hit for these just over 100 pips. And a beautiful trade. Look at this, we picked the exact turning point. That's twice this week. Euro dollar as well for 100 pips. Dead on the turning point just there. But this is a big trade. We saw quite a nice directional move, a pullback, and then, guys, we've seen consolidation. And this is what can really trip a lot of people up, is this consolidation area. People think that, oh, we've come really close to targets here, we didn't quite hit, I'm going to get stopped out. So they take targets up here. They take it at 40% less of what it's worth. And that's sabotaging. It just ends up sabotaging the trade. And you've only got to do that once, even twice, and it can completely ruin your week, because the next trade you take will probably be a loser, and it will wipe out the gains that you would have had from this winning trade. So it's just really important that when we enter these trades, no matter if it's a big trade or a small trade, that we follow the plan, we allow for the trade to play out. And guys, it's not easy. You know, here we've already come down once, twice. This is now the third time we're pushing through, and you have to just wait. I've already moved my stop to break even. We have to wait for the market to push through around 2 pips in order for that first target to be taken, and then we've banked some profits, and then in this occasion we're going to be waiting for secondary targets. So it's patience, it's knowing that as a result of my back testing what the expectancy of my return is going to be based on trading this style of movement. We've got a complex pullback, fib confluence, we had the RSI, we had structure holds, we had the trend continuation, we had the Gartley pattern, we had lots and lots of confluence for trend continuation, and based on my rules that means that we wait for a retest of this structure level that we're testing for the third time. So if you haven't guessed, guys, I'm trying to buy a bit of time. It's always nice to capture those trades that are at worth 100 pips or more, because you know they don't come around that often. We've had a couple this week, and it's just nice to capture them. It's nice to for you guys as well, because you're going to be sat there thinking, God, you've been talking now for a few minutes regarding this. Are you going to show us the trade hitting or not? But this shows patience, and that's what you have to have. You have to have patience, knowing that we've got what we've got on this. We've got a full lot size on this position. We're 102 pips up, and you have to have the ability to simply wait. And again, it doesn't matter if you're trading with minis or micros or 20 lots. Trading is exactly the same regardless of the balance. 103 now. We're looking at about 2 pips the broker charges, so that's what we've got to push through roughly in order for this thing to take. 102 again. And it would be nice for this thing to push down and hit those secondary targets, which are around another 40 pips away. It would make for a lovely trade, this. So if this hit target 1s, we're going to get about 51, 52 pips out of this. And if we can get target 2s, that'll make around 75, something like that. No, it won't. It'll be more than that. What am I talking
Target
about?
filled.
Hey, finally. There we go. 75, about 125 pips if we get target 2s, but right now target 1s have been hit for 103 pips. And we're back for the update, and we're pushing down now through our targets, and I don't know if you just saw that. There we go, targets hit there for I think it was actually 144 pips in the end, making this a beautiful 2 target winner. Just let me double check by logging into the system and finding out, but this is a beautiful trade. Look at that, picked the exact turning point for trend continuation. So that banked 143 pips. So 143 divided by 2 plus 52, which was what we banked in the first case. 124 pips banked on that trend continuation trade. Beautiful.